Hey guys, I kind of wanted to do a bonus tech tip this week since Apple released the iOS 10 last night. Um, I have updated my phone. Some people are having problems with it, some people aren't. So I just kind of wanted to get you the facts about it, and you can decide if you're ready to update or if you want to wait just a little bit longer for them to make some improvements before you update your phone or iPad. And I do want to show you some of the things, some of the really cool things that iOS 10 can do that iOS 9 couldn't. All right, so to update your phone or to see if it is ready for an update, you go to Settings and then you will choose General and then Software Update. And it will check and it will see if you are ready for iOS 10. Um, you need to know that iOS 10 is not for the iPhone 4, iPad 2, or 3, and it's not for the iPad mini. So if you have an iPhone 5 or after, then it will update. And so mine right now says that iPhone or the iOS 10.01 is up to date, and this is on my iPad. They pushed out an iOS 10 and there was a lot of issues and people were posting all over Twitter and stuff saying that their phone was bricking, and that means they were getting the black screen with the cord and the little iTunes icon prompting them to plug into iTunes to fix it. Even like iPad Pros, your newer iPads, were getting that error. But since then, Apple has pushed out the 10.0.1, and that is supposed to have fixed that issue. I have updated to 10.0.1 and I haven't had any problems so far. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is that Apple creates updates to work best with their newest device. So the newer your phone or iPad, the more powerful it is and the more it can handle the new features of iOS 10. There are more features available in the phones that have like the 3D touch, where you can push light or push harder for certain options. What I'm going to show you today, mine is not 3D touch, so I'm going to show you what everything below 3D touch does. So just keep in mind that these updates are created for their newest one, and they are about to release their iPhone 7. So it's not really a surprise that they have a major update like iOS 10 and iPhone 7 coming out, because they're going to want you to buy the iPhone 7. But right now I just have the 6 Plus. It is not the 6S or the 6S Plus. It was the first 6 Plus. And like I said, I haven't had any issues on it. All right. I want to go over a couple of features that is available on the new iPhone or the new iOS 10 if you do decide to update. And like I said, I did, especially since it's 10.0.1, and I have a semi-newer phone. I did decide to update, and I haven't had any problems so far, and some of the features that are now available have been pretty cool. The first thing that you will notice is there is no longer a slide to unlock. Okay, so before, when you would turn it on and slide to unlock, that's gone, and it's never coming back. So eventually you will have to update and your slide's going to be gone. But to unlock your screen, you just hit the home screen again and it unlocks it. Okay. From that home screen, they have added an easier way to access the camera. So like if your phone is locked like this and you just need to take a picture real quick, used to you would have to swipe up from the bottom to get your camera. Now if you swipe backwards, like you would unlock your phone from left to right, now if you swap backwards, it pulls up your camera. If you swipe the other way, that's where all of your notifications and Siri suggestions are going to come up. Now, see how mine is in the Siri Spotlight search up here. Now one of my last tech tips, recent ones, was about turning Siri off for some of the spotlight search things because it's draining your data because it's constantly pulling that information in the background. A lot of times whenever a big update like this comes out, it auto turns all of that stuff back on. So if you're worried that it might be sucking your data because you updated, then watch that tech tip. I put the link right here in this video, and you can watch it and turn all of those things back off so that it's not draining battery or sucking your data. Another thing I noticed was when I updated, it automatically turned my Bluetooth on, and that's something that drained your battery, and I just noticed it later after I was like, why is my battery almost dead? And so I had to go in and turn it off or use the control center. Another thing that you can do, if you swipe up, you would swipe up and get this control center and your music. They have made it a little bit simpler. You still swipe up to use the Apple TV, to AirPlay, to mirror your device, like in the classroom if you're projecting it. This is still where your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and everything is. But if you swipe, then that's where you can now access your music. Okay, so like I said, the swipe to unlock is gone. You have to hit the home button again. Another new thing that you'll notice is there's a new home app. It's this one right there with the little yellow house. That is something that you would use if you have like Wi-Fi on your thermostat and some light bulbs and you want to be able to turn them on and off from your iPad. It's another one of those apps kind of like Stocks and maybe the iWatch app that if you don't have an iWatch, it's one of those things that you don't use. So it ends up in a folder with all the other apps that I don't use, but Apple won't let me delete. Now they have started to allow, with this update, you can delete those apps that you don't use. So I don't use the weather app. I don't even know if it's on this device. I'll do it with the home though. So now those Apple devices that you couldn't delete before, you can delete now. So like I can delete the home app, I can delete videos. I don't want to delete that one though. Let's see if I have any in here. You can delete iBooks, iTunes U. You can delete maps, but the only thing is if you delete maps and someone tries to share their location with you via in the text messages app, then you cannot, it won't work. You won't be able to see it because you have to have that maps icon on your phone. So it doesn't really delete the apps. It just unlinks all the data from it and gets it off your home screen. But to get it back, you have to go to the App Store and search for Maps in order to download it. Let's see. Messages is another thing that has some pretty cool features. I was texting my friend and I asked her, have you updated to iOS 10? I had on this device and you can see right in here how it's blurry. To get it, to be able to see it, I have to drag my finger over it and kind of erase that fuzz, and then it goes back to invisible ink is what it's called. That's something that you can send. Do it. Whenever you tap and hold the up arrow, you can send invisible ink or gentle, loud, and it will shake and make a louder noise if the ringer is on, and same thing with slam. Now, I've only been able to get this to work on my iPad, not on my iPhone, but if you have a 3D touch, I think that's why it's not working on my iPhone. You have to have a 3D touch so that you can either touch it lightly to send or press down harder to get those options. Now, she has not updated to iOS 10, so I want you to see what it looked like on hers. So I did a couple of things. I did the invisible ink, and then I did a like on her text that she sent, or I did a dislike. This is what she saw. It came up and said, okay, or I said, okay, what happens to this text? And then it sends another text that says sent with invisible ink. So if they don't have iOS 10, then it really defeats the purpose to send a text in invisible ink. It will show them that they disliked your, if you dislike one of their text messages, but the send with invisible ink and the slam and all that, it doesn't really matter. They can't really see it. It's pointless unless they've updated to the iOS 10. Okay, another neat feature was you can write a response. So I'm going to tap this little arrow right here, or you can tap the little scribble at the bottom next to the space bar, and you can write in a message. I thought that was pretty neat. One of the other things is that you can send read receipts, and I know you could do that in iOS 9, where it says read, and it tells it, timestamps at what time that you read the message. They get to see that. You can do that in iOS 10, but set it for certain conversations with them. So if I wanted my stepdad to be able to get my read receipts and see if I read his text messages, I would just tap the I and turn on send read receipts. I don't know if any of you have ever used this, but if you get put in a group text message and people are just responding like, okay, great, okay, and your phone is just blowing up and it's just constantly going off. If everyone is on an iMessage, you can, whenever you hit this I, it will come up here and say leave group, and so you can exit the group message. If everyone is not using an iPhone and on iMessage, then the do not disturb option comes up. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick overview of the different things with iOS 10. Like I said, you decide to update or not based on your device, but there has already been a 10.1, sent out, so it does fix some of the initial fixes that everyone was freaking out about. So I have updated mine, but I'll leave that up to you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me if it's about your cell phone or your classroom's iPad, and I will try my best to help you. All right, thanks. I hope y'all have a great day.